What is oregano? Oregano is a robust herb with a distinctive, earthy flavor that I've enjoyed using in various Italian dishes. How to make oregano oil? I once made oregano oil by steeping fresh oregano in olive oil and then straining it through a fine mesh, and the aroma was incredible. What is oregano oil good for? I found oregano oil helpful for easing sore muscles when used topically and adding a nice flavor to my homemade salad dressings. How to dry oregano? Drying oregano at home involves hanging the sprigs in a cool, dry place, and I love the smell that fills the room as they dry. Can dogs have oregano? I've read that dogs can have oregano in small amounts, but I've never given it to mine to be on the safe side. How to harvest oregano? To harvest oregano, I simply snip the stems just above where the leaves start, ensuring a fresh supply for cooking. Is oregano a perennial? Oregano has been a reliable perennial in my garden, coming back every year without fail. Where to buy oregano oil? I usually buy oregano oil from a local health store or online, and I prefer brands with good reviews. How to make oregano tea? Making oregano tea is as simple as steeping a handful of dried oregano leaves in boiling water, and it's been a soothing drink for me. Can cats eat oregano? I've avoided giving oregano to my cats, as I've read it might not be safe for them. How to dilute oregano oil for toenail fungus? I diluted oregano oil with coconut oil and applied it to toenail fungus, and noticed some improvement over time. Is oregano good for chickens? Oregano has been a great addition to my chickens' diet. They seem to enjoy pecking at it. Is oregano oil safe during pregnancy? I've read conflicting information about using oregano oil during pregnancy, so I'd avoid it based on my precautionary stance. What happens if you smoke oregano? I tried smoking oregano once out of curiosity, and it was a mild experience with no real benefits. What's the difference between Mexican oregano and regular oregano? The flavor of Mexican oregano is more citrusy and earthy compared to the more pungent and woody taste of regular oregano. Can you put oregano oil in your ear? I've heard some people use oregano oil in their ears for ear infections, but I've never tried it myself. Can guinea pigs eat oregano? Guinea pigs should avoid oregano as it could upset their digestive system, so I stick to their usual diet. Can bearded dragons eat oregano? Bearded dragons have a varied diet, but I wouldn't risk feeding them oregano since it might not be the best for them. Can bunnies eat oregano? I've read that bunnies can eat oregano in small amounts, but I personally prefer giving them other fresh herbs. What can replace oregano? If I run out of oregano, I often replace it with basil or thyme, depending on what I have on hand. What do oregano seeds look like? Oregano seeds are tiny and speckled, resembling other herb seeds, but with a distinct aroma when crushed. What is white oregano? White oregano is a variant with a milder flavor and lighter leaves, which I've used in some of my culinary experiments. What not to plant with oregano? I've found that planting oregano near plants like basil can be a bit problematic, as they compete for the same nutrients. Oregano versus thyme. When I've used thyme instead of oregano, I've noticed that thyme brings a subtle, herbaceous complexity to dishes, whereas oregano tends to offer a stronger, spicier kick that's more pronounced in Italian recipes. Oregano versus marjoram. Marjoram's milder, sweeter taste often feels too delicate compared to the robust, slightly bitter flavor of oregano, which I prefer for dishes needing a bold, savory punch. Oregano versus basil. I enjoy oregano's earthy warmth and hearty sauces, but when I switch to basil, its fresh, slightly sweet flavor brings a lighter, more aromatic quality that brightens up salads and lighter dishes. Oregano versus parsley. Parsley's fresh, grassy notes offer a clean contrast to oregano's strong, herbal punch, making parsley a go-to for garnishing and balancing the intense flavors of oregano in cooked dishes. Oregano versus Greek oregano. Greek oregano has a more intense and concentrated flavor, which I found to be ideal for Mediterranean dishes, while the milder, more common oregano works well in everyday cooking. Oregano versus amoxicillin. I've never tried substituting oregano for amoxicillin, but I do know oregano oil is touted for its antibacterial properties, although it doesn't come close to the effectiveness of a prescribed antibiotic for serious infections. Oregano versus cilantro. Cilantro's bright, citrusy flavor is a refreshing contrast to the deep, spicy notes of oregano, so I use cilantro for Mexican and Asian dishes, while oregano is my go-to for Italian and Greek cuisines. Oregano versus ajwain. Ajwain's intense, thyme-like flavor can be overpowering compared to the more balanced and versatile oregano, making it a less frequent choice in my cooking, except for certain Indian dishes. Oregano versus antibiotic. I've never used oregano as a replacement for antibiotics, but I do use oregano oil as a supplement for its potential immune-boosting properties, even though it's no substitute for medical treatment. Oregano versus coriander. Coriander adds a unique, citrusy warmth that complements dishes differently than oregano's bold, savory profile. I prefer oregano in Mediterranean cooking and coriander in dishes with a more exotic flair. Oregano versus mint. Mint's cooling, refreshing taste is a stark contrast to oregano's warm, pungent flavor. So while oregano is great for savory dishes, mint finds its place in fresh salads and sweet dishes. Oregano versus rosemary. Rosemary's piney, woody flavor can sometimes overpower a dish, whereas oregano provides a more balanced, versatile herbaceous taste that I often find more adaptable in a range of recipes. Oregano versus sage. Sage's earthy, slightly peppery flavor can sometimes overshadow oregano's more straightforward herbal notes, so I prefer oregano in dishes where I want the herb flavor to be prominent without being overwhelming. Oregano versus za'atar. Za'atar's blend of herbs, including oregano, gives a complex, tangy flavor that's often richer and more nuanced than using oregano alone, making za'atar a favorite for its layered taste in Middle Eastern dishes.